Hi everyone, how are you doing? Glad to see you all here. Istana, Augie, Jeebs. Oh my god, Jeebs redeemed first? What? Okay, I'm shocked. How are you all, by the way? Are you alright? Are you staying cool? Are you trying to stay cool? Because in this heat, if you're not trying to stay cool, my question then would be, what is wrong with you? In a totally non-judgmental way, of course. You know, can't be judgy. But yes, how are you all doing? Augie, stream streak. Yay! Hold on, I need to fix things. There we go. That looks better. It's gonna be 27 to see in a few days. Help. I'm just going to look at you in 32C temperatures right now. Astana, 32. 32 for the high today, I think. Hi, voice. Oh my god, voice actor? Wow. How are you doing? It's been a while. How are you? Are you alright? Welcome back in. Jeebs, you were first, somehow. I know, right? Shocking. Augie, don't ask about the heat. Jemima is off poorly because of the... Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope she starts feeling better. Get her... Go into full cool mode. Hopefully she'll feel better. What I did with Paul yesterday, because he was boiling in his room, I'm like, Paul, are you are you too warm, Paul? No. You're not too hot? No. And I'm like, I was feeling him, and I mean, his skin was like hot, you know. I mean, like, he was boiling. So I'm like, right, Paul, take off your shirt. And he just looked at me like I had grown a second head, which probably isn't that you know, far off. Voice actor, thank you so much for the resub. That is seriously awesome of you. 60 months, man. Seriously nice. It's been a while. Currently, you're in the middle of tech for your final 2 shows of the second year. Oh, I hope it goes well. Break a leg. Seriously awesome. Okay, hold on. I'm checking the temperatures. It's currently at 27 right now, and the high for today, yeah, is about 32. So, bleh. But yes, yesterday, I was telling you about Paul, and I told Paul to take his shirt off. I took his shirt, I ran it under the cold water tap in the bathroom, and he's like, no, Muir, no. And I'm like, trust me, Paul, this will make you feel better. So I after I got his shirt wet, I wrung it out to make sure it wasn't dripping, and said, right, and he shoved it at him. I said, here, put this on. You put your shirt back on now. And he put his shirt back on and he went, cold. And I'm like, yeah, does it make you feel better? Yeah, cool now. I'm like, yeah, exactly, kid. So yeah, he absolutely loved it. Try, hello, how you doing, Trianek? Glad to see you here. Everything is indeed fine. 100%. The world is burning around us, but everything is fine. Voice actor, the temp where you're at right now is 39. Oh my god, voice actor, stay cool. Definitely stay cool. That is just, yeah, I don't like it. Try Nike just wanted to pop in and say hi. You're at work. You're almost melting. Oh, jeez. In Denmark. I hope that you're able to stay cool at least a little bit, Try Nike. Remember, if you're stuck in an office, there's not a lot that you can do, but I always suggest getting yourself a desk fan that either is a misting desk fan, as in, you know, it has a little water reservoir and it sends little puffs of very fine mist towards your face while you work. Obviously, if you get one of those, make sure that it is not pointed at the computer. Or you can get a handheld one as well and just like spray it every once in a while in your face. That definitely makes all the difference. There you can also get, and I'm one of these huge lovers of these things. You can get scarves that are microfiber. They're not really microfiber. They're like a silky type of microfiber. They're not the nappy ones, but these are meant to, you get them wet or damp and you stick them in the freezer, and then you put them around your neck, or you can tie them to your head, and oh my god, do they ever work. They are so nice. Seriously, I love them. I absolutely love them. They're just the best things ever. I need to find mine because I've got like 4 of them. I need to find mine and stick them in the freezer today. I really, really do. Okay, what do we have? Trinek, you have an active job. You're painting in this heat. Oh my god, Trinek, I am so sorry about that. I really, really hope that you're okay. Take loads of breaks, make sure you're getting plenty to drink, and by the way, I don't care what your GP says, coffee and tea does work, or does count as water. Okay? Coffee and tea counts as water when hydrating, because yes, it has caffeine in it, but the diuretic effect in tea and coffee is very low, and you're drinking more water than what the diuretic effect of the caffeine is excreting. So if you can't stand water, drink coffee and tea. Iced coffee and tea, because in this heat you don't want the hot stuff, unless you're Jeebs. Trinek, you're crying and drinking a lot of water. Good. Definitely good. Take some of that water and get your shirt wet. It's so good. Seriously. I'm gonna be doing that probably during the stream, during one of the breaks. I am most likely going to, or during the focus session, going to go into the bathroom and get my shirt wet and come back, and the stream will then become hot tub and swimming pool stream. I'm just kidding. But I'm not kidding about getting my t-shirt wet. Astana, you were on the train yesterday and the driver said on the speaker, yeah, 2 carriages don't have aircon, so if you feel like you're boiling, move into another one. Wow. I hope that one of the carriages that didn't have aircon was not the train conductors, because that would suck. Ewoki, did you forget what day today is? Jeeves, iced coffee is a crime against humanity. And that is all I'm going to say about that. I'm a crime against humanity. What are you talking about? Trinek, you miss your fan that you have by your PC. I've got a fan right behind me. I can't put one on my desk because my microphone picks it up too much. So, but I've got one right there next to the open window. You can just see it. And it's okay. It doesn't do a lot, but I can feel a little tiny breeze from it. So, it's not too bad. Hold on. What else do we have here? Jeeves. Well, Iwoki is in the gutter. Has she seen your brain? You're told to get it out of the gutter a lot. I mean, same. Absolute same. That's just how my brain works. I can turn anything into an innuendo. Innuendo. I mean, what? Augie, you can't believe a demo you saw on Steam Game Fest. Speaking of hot tub streaming, oh my god, what was there a demo of a game called Hot Tub, basically a hot tub streaming? Put it in the Discord. I'll Yeah, we'll check it out later. Trineck is going to be up to 28 and getting worse than the weekend. Thankfully, the weekend here in the UK, at least where I'm at, the temperatures are going to get a little bit cooler. And by next Monday, they're calling for the temps to be back to normal around, the low to mid 20s. So thank goodness for that. You must run, no worries. Stay cool, Trineck, and thank you so much for dropping in. I really appreciate it. Augie, it's called Capybara in a Hot Tub. Oh my god. Capybara in a hot tub. Okay. That sounds hilarious. Absolutely. You've put the link in Discord. Oh, thank you. Because I gotta look at that. Capybaras are adorable. Oh, speaking of capybaras, but not capybaras, has anyone seen Tom Scott's newest YouTube video? It's all about ferrets. He goes to a ferret farm. They call it the School of Ferrets. And the guy raises ferrets and trains them to hunt rabbits, basically. He lends them out to farmers who are having, because right now rabbits in the UK are overpopulated. And there's just been a huge boom on rabbits, and there's not enough, there isn't enough things that eat the wild bunnies to keep the population down, so there's a huge population boom right now, and, I found out by watching Tom Scott's video that, landowners are actually supposed, if they see a wild rabbit, not a hare, but a rabbit, if they see a wild rabbit, then you're supposed to cull the rabbit. A lot of people don't, but you're supposed to, because the population is just way too high. So yeah, this guy raises ferrets and hires them out to farmers if they notice like way too many rabbits in their on their farm. The ferrets are absolutely adorable, and the video is just as cute as you would expect. I love ferrets. So for those of you who are new, welcome in, or if you've not been here for a while, welcome back. This is our Sims 4 Work with Sims live stream. It is a Pomodoro-based Work With Me stream where we do 20 minutes worth of focus sessions where we get our heads down, get work done, work through our to-do lists, all that wonderful stuff, and then 15 minutes of chatting where we talk about pretty much anything. But today we have a few different Sims 4 related news stories to get through. That's all about the upcoming bug fixes. So we'll get through the laundry list during our first break and the Q&A session during our second break. And by the way, during our focus sessions, we've got The Sims 4 running autonomously in the background, so y'all have something to look at. Just as a reminder, since The Sims has reminded me, there is a summer sale going on now, and I am part of the Sims Creator Network. So if you do purchase anything during the summer sale, if you use my code MurelySims, then you get 5% discount off of anything you buy in the Sims 4 shop. And I also get a 5% commission off of whatever you purchase. The Sims team would also like to remind you that there is a base game update on the 30th of June, so please, if you use mods or custom content, remove the mods and custom content, back them up, back up your save files before the game updates on the 30th. And now that we've said that, let's get back into our game. Since Jeeves was the first person in our stream today, as soon as the game loads, I will we'll follow Jeebs for our first focus session. Jeebs! Yay, you fixed your watch. Now you can tell the time. Once again. This is the creme brulee coffee, by the way, for those of you wondering. Without milk this time. And it tastes really nice even without milk. Although I think I'd prefer it with milk. But, you know, just so you know, it's just as good without. All right, Jeeves Robobson, here he is. All right, let me get rid of mod guard and all of that. And start the game and get the timer up and running. There we are. As always, I will mute my microphone during our focus session and bring the music up. And I will catch up with you all after the focus session. Let's go.
I'm going to show you how to use clipping.
Oh my god. A death has occurred. I repeat, a death has occurred. Death by lightning. Wow. Witnessed by all of the all of the gnomes. Wow. Ewoki, it was Sean. Sean died by lightning. Dang. Wow. On the last stream of the last sim stream of the week as well. Become a playable ghost. We're back down to 5 alive sims now. Evoki going out with a shocking bang. Yeah, indeed, indeed. Wow. Alright, do we already have a, yeah, let's see. Cody, Rob, Muir, Optine, Augie, Fleur. No, we do not. Okay, we do not have a, Sean Gravestone. Okay, and that one's disappeared. I hate when that happens. Okay, it's fine. We still don't have a Sean Gravestone. It's good. Oh wait, it's moved over there for some reason. Okay, hold on. Oh, there we go. We'll put it there. Okay. Now we have a Sean Gravestone. There we go. We're only missing one person's gravestone, and I have whose is it? Rob, Muir, Optine, Augie, Fleur, Sean, Astana. We don't have an Astana gravestone yet. Let's listen, or let's watch their video, shall we? Windows and doors do not display correctly or are aligned with the walls. This is the before shot. And now they will display. Oh, nice. Oh, that is so good. By the way, I love these videos that they're doing. Endless loading has been fixed. Or will be fixed. Photos and paintings becoming stuck to the cursor is now fixed. Vicious Dynasty Ideal autonomously run mean interactions. Now they no longer run autonomously mean interactions. Sims unable to adopt cats and dogs is now fixed. Dynasty notification on repeat. Has been fixed. Very nice. Okay, so that's just a few of the different bugs that they've showcased that are going to be fixed in next week's patch. This is seriously, seriously awesome. So many things that they're fixing. Let me go back into the music and turn that back on. And, let's see what we got. Laundry list. Upcoming bug fixes. So, The upcoming update is going to include over 10 fixes for the most voted issues on the EA forums, improvements to live mode notifications and phone calls, a move of scratch files to app data for Mac users, and also addresses a variety of other bugs and issues reported by the community. They did a special dev Q&A session over on the Sims Discord late last night, which we will be covering later on during this live stream. But the list of the top community concerns is windows and doors displaying correctly and remain properly aligned with the walls across all graphic settings without clipping or glitching into the walls. They say if this happens to you, if it still happens, follow the prompt and restart your game to see the update. Crispy, you don't know if you're in the minority, but these bug fixing trailers feel patronizing to you. Like, we shouldn't need a full on trailer for bug fixes, like it's being advertised like a new DLC. It's like scraping the barrel at this point. See, I like that they're doing it because it shows that it's actually fixed. Because a lot of people are like, what, this isn't happening in my game. What does this even look like? And I have seen that on social media where people are like, oh, I have no idea what they're talking about here. And the video just, it shows one, what the bug looks like. So if you do see it in your game, you'll know that it's a bug. And two, it shows, that they've actually fixed it. So it shows the before and after. I kind of like it, to be honest, because it's basically copying what a lot of YouTubers do. Like Little Simsy, what she always used to do was she would test the bug fixes. So she used to do the videos that went through on update day. She would go through the bug fixes and she would go into the game and try to replicate them to test that they had actually been, that they had been fixed. And this is basically them doing what creators like Little Simsy and so on and so forth do. But instead of trying to recreate an already fixed bug, they're showing the bug that exists and then showing that it's now fixed. I personally, I kind of like it. I understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea though, but I kind of like it. Jeeves, you're with Crispy on this. Yeah, like I said, I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea. Personally, I like it, but I'm used to seeing creators do that kind of stuff all the time. So that might be due to my personal point of view. So. But yeah, what else do we have here? We fixed an issue where partnered Sims could form an unexpected relationship upon leaving Create a Sim. This fix is not retroactive in saves where the relationship change already occurred, but it is retroactive in old saves where the relationship change hasn't yet occurred. But please note there is still another cause of this behavior that we're still investigating. So what exactly is this? Let's go into the forums real quick and oh, okay. A few minutes into playing after updating, my sim gets a call from her cousin to say that the cousin is now in a relationship with her own brother. I went to the other family to check, and sure enough, they have a romance bar and are tagged siblings, sweethearts, and partners. Wow. Yeah, that's. And then this is from like these posts are from over a year ago. Let's check the newest ones. And yeah, even from a few days ago, the husband has parents and siblings, a whole family tree. He married a new woman, had a baby with her. The older infant's bio mom apparently died, and the dad's wife was allowed to adopt her. Apparently, after that, the wife now shares her husband's dad as her own, and the older infant daughter is now the husband's niece, and the wife shares the daughter with her deceased bio mom. I put a lot of time. Yeah, that's wow. So this has been going on for over a year. And it's taken this long for the devs to fix one cause. This is probably one of those extremely complicated bugs that have multiple causes. So I'm glad that they fixed at least one of the reasons, one of the causes of that bug. That is just so weird. Augie, do you remember the demo I played of Restore Your Island? Yeah. What about it? So let's see. Another one. We addressed an issue where the game could become stuck on the thumbnail UI when a user clicks on a gallery item after changing the filters. The game will no longer soft lock when attempting to download custom tattoos from the gallery. Thank you so much. Glad that that's fixed. Augie, they now have cats on the island as well as dogs. Oh my god, that so cute. I'm glad they got cats on the island now, because the more pets, the better, right? We fixed an instance of endless loading save corruption that could occur when trying to place certain lots from the gallery. Okay, so it says this was happening because these lots had an overuse of placement cheats that were corrupting the lot's footprints. We've adjusted how nav meshes behave to account for these instances. Okay, so this bug right here. This is yeah, this is a huge issue. So, those builds that you see on the gallery by, Sims builders that have like a ton of debug stuff and stuff that that they've used move objects on and alt placement and all of that stuff. Just like extremely huge detailed builds that's just make sure your computer melt. That kind of build. Those have been causing save corruption. Um because they use they use a lot of cheats and a lot of debug, and yeah, if you use too much, a little bit here and there is great. One or two items, like per room, is fine. But when you take like debug rocks and you size them up massive, to create gorgeous but very busy landscaping, um yeah, that is too much for a lot of computers. It can cause the game to lag, and that can cause save corruption. So I am very, very glad that they've adjusted how nav meshes behave. Um, but at the same time, I understand that the problem still exists. So, yeah, if you grab things like that off of the gallery, just be very mindful that using builds like that can cause save corruption in your game. So, just be careful. Please be careful. Um, what else do we have here? A top community concern around Sims performing mean interactions was investigated. We found while this is previously happening, these were old bugs that we'd previously addressed in past patches. When we investigated new reports and player saves, we found this was being caused by the vicious dynasty ideal from Royalty and Legacy and was by design. We wanted to address this feedback, however, so Sims with the vicious dynasty ideal will no longer autonomously run mean interactions. They will still get prestige points when a player manually runs mean socials. Okay, so basically, players are saying Sims were performing mean interactions autonomously way too much. So, instead of like dialing that back for people who have royalty and legacy, they just completely got rid of autonomous mean interactions, which is a shame because, if you have a sim who is mean and they've got the vicious dynasty ideal, you would expect them to be mean to other sims at least a little bit more often. Not constantly, but a little bit. I mean, I'm glad that they're taking on feedback and addressing it, but I think that they've kind of gone too far with that. So I don't know. I just I like it when Sims do what their personality says that they are, you know? It's just a mean Sim should be mean. Maybe not all the time, not every interaction, but maybe a 1 out of 10 autonomous interactions that they should be mean. Um, I just, it fits their personality, I think, anyway. We fixed an issue where child Sims could be automatically added to a dynasty, and players would receive the Join Dynasty notification on repeat when entering or leaving and create a sim. Fixed an issue where doctors couldn't perform interactions with their patients or use the deliver food interaction and get to work. They fixed an issue that was preventing Sims from adopting cats and dogs. They fixed an issue that was preventing Sims from performing the feel the love interaction properly on a cat or small dog. They fixed an issue that prevented Sims from bathing small dogs. And Sims are once again able to complete the hair and makeup task on an actor career gig and get famous. That's quite a few fixes for royalty and legacy and cats and dogs. I absolutely love seeing that they're fixing actual DLC bugs. Very, very nice to see. Implements for live mode, TNS notifications, and phone calls. They say, we've taken a thoughtful pass at live mode notifications to make every day gameplay feel smoother, more intentional, and less overwhelming. By reducing repetitive phone calls, giving you greater control over festival and phone notifications, and adding meaningful story context to who calls and why, we aim to cut down on spam and keep immersion front and center. So in game options, gameplay, this is going to take effect on the 30th, by the way. It's not in the game yet, but they have added a festival notification section to the game options menu that will allow players to determine which festivals they receive notifications for on a pack-by-pack basis. That is seriously awesome. I really, really like that. So if you have no intention in your game of taking part in any of these fairs or festivals, you can now disable the notifications for them. Or if you just prefer to check the calendar, I'm guessing that the calendar notifications will still be there. You just won't get them up on the notification wall. So that is seriously awesome. I love seeing that. The silence phone button should now properly prevent all phone calls. There were some that were still slipping through in base game. Only your Sim's friends will call for dating advice in the game. And they say, actually, why not do this for all neighborhood stories? All neighborhood stories phone calls will now require your Sims to be at least friends before Sims will reach out to them. That's awesome. I like that. Sims in the freelancer career will no longer receive gig calls and pop-ups from careers they are not in. Sims should now need to be friendly before they call to invite your Sims to a festival or getaway. Stayover calls can now happen multiple times. They may occur anytime after 14 days have passed since the initial call. This fix is retroactive in old saves. That's awesome, because I never realized. Crispy, you had a phone call just as I started reading your comment. Oh dear. Timing. No, basically, just to rehash what I said about the that video. I personally like them because I'm used to other Simmers, Sims creators like Little Simsy going through the patch list and trying to recreate the bugs that have been fixed in the game. And I think that this is basically the Sims team's way of copying Sims creators by actually showing the bug and that it's been fixed. It is a little bit condescending, but I think they're just emulating popular Sims creators, to be honest. Which kind of makes sense. They're probably thinking, well, it works for the big Sims creators and people like it, so it might work. People might like it for us as well. Actually, I'm curious. Let's let's check the comments here. Oops, I did not want that on. Shush. Let's check the comments here. So, I can't do anything from Doctor Job except ask about general health. This one's fixed in next week's base game update. Why won't you fix the Sims interaction changing, satisfaction changing? We're investigating this for a future update. If the actor career, if you're referring to the hair and makeup issue, it'll be in the base game update. I'm just seeing if anyone has commented about the video. Yeah, it's not revolutionary to fix and advertise something that you broke. You fixed the game you broke in the first place. Congratulations. Wow, X is so toxic. This is why I no longer post over on X, because it is just so toxic over there. Absolutely toxic. But yeah, yeah, no one actually really mentions the video. Crispy. Okay, I just read that. Let's see. So what else do we have? But yeah, the talking about the stayover calls. So the stayover calls, I didn't know this until yesterday. Um, with growing together, they coded the game so that you can only ever get one stayover call, as in an NPC sim inviting themselves over for a stayover. You can only get that once per save. And I never realized that. That to me was just weird. But yeah, I'd always thought, oh, we got a stayover call. My Sims grandparents are wanting to come and, my child Sims grandparents are wanting to come and visit after the birth of their sibling, and that's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then there was no stayover calls after that, and I'm like, wait a minute, why only one? Um, but I never realized that it was hard coded into the game. So now, um, they can actually happen multiple times, at least once every 14 days. I like that. I really like that. Sims that are actively present on the lot will no longer call your sim to ask about your adult sim's childhood for the formative moments feature. It was a little weird. How are they even doing that? Why were they even doing that? If someone's in the same room with you, you're not gonna phone them. You're not gonna grab your mobile phone and ring them and go, "Hey, can you tell me about your childhood?" That's just weird. That is so weird. Crispy, you think the videos can be helpful for those who might not have been aware of the issues? You just feel like it comes across as, here's a trailer of bugs for things we broke. Yeah, yeah, I can understand that, definitely. It shouldn't feel like a celebration of fixes of issues that have been really impacting people's saves. Yeah, that from that angle, I agree with you. Yeah, it does. It kind of does give that impression. Um, but yeah, as you say, I'm leaning more towards the people who aren't aware of the issues or don't know what that problem looks like. It's like, yeah, if you're getting this, then we fixed it and it should now look like this. Like, I mean, maybe the videos is meant to help people who have been having the problems and not realizing it's a bug. So this is what you're experiencing now, and this is what should be happening. Um, which, taken from that point of view, that's pretty neat of them showing the video of, Yeah, you know how this has been happening to you since you've been playing the game, for however many years. Yeah, it shouldn't be happening. This is what it should look like. Um, and we fixed it. Yeah. Thinking about it even more, you're right, Crispy. You and Jeeves are both right. That it does come across as a little condescending, at least from a game developer. Yeah, huh? Brain. It's fine though. Um, at least they're fixing bugs, right? I think we can all agree that bug fixes are definitely a good thing. Okay, so what else have they done? Grim is a little pickier on who he'll try to recruit now. He's the Grim Reaper. He has options. He'll only call Sims to offer a job if they have the macabre trait. Okay, that's interesting. Crispy, right? Yeah, exactly. Less spam. We heard you just became friends with. Just kidding. We removed some repetitive phone calls in live mode based on feedback from Reddit, Discord, and the forums. Players will no longer receive phone calls saying, I heard you became friends with. They're pretty cool. I heard you became enemies with. They're a jerk. I heard you and Sim are good friends now. You're getting more popular from Get Famous. Do you want earbuds? Great. They're still available for purchase from the computer. We will, however, no longer be reminding you about earbuds. We've decreased how frequently players will get dancing and bar night invites from other Sims. Beth Sterling will not call as quickly or as frequently anymore. However, once she does call, if you accept, you're still at her mercy. Good luck. We've decreased how frequently players will get community closeness calls from Eco Lifestyle. High school years, they've removed the come check out thrifty TNS. Oh my god, thank you. Thank you so much for removing the thrifty thing. Oh Jesus, that was so freaking annoying. Every 5 minutes, I swear, come check out thrifty. It's like, shut up. They've decreased how frequently players will get romance-related phone calls. The discovery quest for starting a dynasty should only occur once per save now. And they've decreased how frequently players will get invites from other Sims. As part of their investigation into save corruption, they have moved Scratch files from documents to app data for PC players to conflict to prevent try that again. As part of our investigation into save corruption, following our March 10th update, we moved Scratch files from documents to app data for PC players to prevent conflicts with cloud backup services. Since the rollout has completed, we have observed improvements in infinite load occurrences. For this June update, we're making the same changes for Mac users. And then we've got some general bug fixes. Stacked items, photos, and paintings become stuck to the cursor when attempting to move them to the Sims inventory, a series of fixes for duplicated Sim issues, a fix for Sims doing limited romantic interactions, and they've made improvements to various base layer assets to improve quality. The patch notes will list all the fixes out individually, plus they'll update individual EA forum threads as well. Says updates on top community voted issues. For the past 8 months, our team has been dedicated to addressing community reported issues, delivering hundreds of fixes across game quality, gameplay performance, and save integrity. Among those hundreds of fixes, we've resolved many of the community's most highly voted concerns and continue to actively investigate additional reports for future updates. Beyond individual fixes, the team says that they've also focused on broader quality of life improvements that strengthen the overall gameplay experience and long-term stability of the game. Many of the improvements players experience come not only from resolving highly visible issues, but also from the ongoing refinements and behind-the-scenes work that help make the game feel better, more stable, and more reliable over time. And they say as development continues, they will keep working to improve the overall experience while sharing more visibility into the work happening across the game. There you go. That is seriously awesome. And they iterate, please keep posting any issues you encounter over on the Sims 4 forums. They will keep checking in to all of the posts. And they say together, we'll make this game the best it can be. A little bit of PR speak. But yes, if you do experience any problems with The Sims 4, do report the problems over on the Sims 4 forums. It's important. It's very, very important. You know, with any game, if you experience a bug, to report the bug. Because if you don't report the bug, the devs are not going to be aware of the bug. Bug reporting is very important for players. Yes, the devs do find some bugs as they're developing the game and playtesting it, but not all bugs, because they cannot replicate every single computer on the face of the planet. So there you go. Crispy, you think being able to turn off festival notifications is a game changer. You do not use the festivals at all, so it'll be great not to keep having heart attacks when high school pop-ups happen. Yes, especially like if you don't have any teenagers that are in high school in your household. It's like, I don't care about the football meetup. I don't care. None of my Sims are teenagers. Why would they go to the high school for the football meetup? I mean, seriously, it just make it make sense. All right, my friends, it is time. We need to go back into our next focus time. And I desperately need the loo. So, you know, two birds, one stone, and all of that. Right, 20 minutes on the clock. Music is going to come back on. And Sims are going to be playing in the background. Let's get some work done, my friends. I'll catch up with you all after the focus session.
Bajelja? Oh. Whipsy nipsy, whipsy nipsy, leave be, leave. Sophie, Paya Pardu, Skistabushi.
My visa.
Too much.
Cheap Homa. Grasha. Huh? Oh, Rolshba Quex and Os. Yeah, through ya. Sawavine. Uh-huh. Oh, huh. Huh? Oh, Garasha Bomwosa. Oh, Bonsa. Chico Lava. Nima Sweezo. Chilo Panive Baima.
Oh, Quapo,
Binfahab.
new beam, if
Uh-huh. Yeah. Hey. Oh. Oh, Yum. Oh, Spinay. Oh, oh, no. Oh, discover. Huh? Oh, Garasha Bomwosa. Oh, Bonza. Huh? Shokin? Yimo's the Shokin? Ah, Basamu.
Ew, that can nerf. Oh, Bala Zeke.
Luray. Ah! Snurb! Oh, Rolshma Quexenos. Yeah, through ya. Huh? Oh, Garasha Bomwosa. Oh, Bonza. Uh-huh.
All right, my friends, that is our second focus session done. Let's just check our Sims. Poor Fleur got hit by lightning, but she didn't die because it was only her first time getting struck. So that's good, at least. However, I am going to have her go around and revive all of our cow plants because I'm mean like that. You know, by making Sims do things in thunderstorms. I'm also going to have Augie do the same. I'm very, very sorry, Augie. That one needs to be fed. That one needs to... Oh, that's it. And Optine is going to be doing the same. Revive that one, please, Optine. And yeah, everything else is good. We got to keep all of our cow plants alive, you know. It's the rules or something. Augie, I am so mean. I am totally 100% mean, yes. I agree. I am definitely mean. So, let's they're gonna start doing all that during tomorrow's live stream. Or not tomorrow, sorry, Monday. I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this because we do have a little bit more news, and this is going to take quite a while to get through because there is a lot of information to get through on this. So let me get rid of the timer and the list. There we go. So yes, quality of life Q&A. So last break we talked about the laundry list. We went over the official laundry list late last night, like around 9 o'clock UK time. The Sims team over on their official Discord, that one, over on their official Discord, they had a Q&A session. And their Q&A session, they do this every once in a while. They invite members of the Discord, everyone to come in and ask the developers questions pertaining to the laundry list that has been, released. And they did this yesterday, and we're going to go through Sims community info website because they collated all of the questions and answers. Going through the Discord, there's so much chatter, and finding the questions and the answers to those questions is not an easy task. But thankfully, over on Sims Community, they did this for us, so we don't have to struggle as much. Hey, Dagoth, hello! That will be a lot of questions, like why is it so expensive? No, this is just for the laundry list, and any questions that did not pertain to the Sims 4 laundry list that they released yesterday, they didn't answer. They have to keep it on topic, or else they'll be there all night. No questions will get answered. But how you doing, Dagoth? You all right? Glad as always to see you. Okay, so let's go into this. This is a short summary. So the base game update is centered on improving gameplay, everyday gameplay, with around 80 bug fixes, control over notifications, more relevant phone calls and social interactions, ongoing fixes for player-reported issues across the game, and smarter phone calls. In the laundry list, they said that the team is reducing notification and call overload while making calls feel more connected to your Sims relationships and stories. The goal is fewer interruptions, not a less lively game. Players will be able to customize which festival notifications they receive, one of the most requested quality of life improvements discussed during the session. The team highlighted several major fixes coming in the patch, including long-standing issues with notifications, relationships, gallery content, and visual bugs, with more fixes being investigated for future updates. Got to breathe. Dagoth, you're doing good. Oh, glad to hear it. You're working out in Create a Sim? Nice. What type of household are you creating today? And I'm doing just fine, thank you. I'm a little bit warm because it is extremely hot here in the UK today, but it's not too bad in this office right now because the sun is facing not facing my office window. So while it's warm in here, it's not unbearable. So at the moment, I'm okay. A recurring theme throughout the Q&A was player feedback directly influences quality of life priorities. The team encouraged everyone to keep sharing experiences after the update launches. And community favorites, Beard Baby was officially named as a favorite bug and pinned. Oh my god, hold on. I've got to find the Beard Baby. Because, not gonna lie, that sounds absolutely freaking hilarious. Throwing infants across the lot? Hold on. Yeet! Beard Baby. I like Beard Baby. Beard Baby is so cute. Dagoth, you're trying to create an only at gays world, and now you're making a guy who will open his own restaurant. Oh my god, I love that. That is so cool. I did something for Pride last year, I actually created, I cannot remember what world it was, but I basically turned a park in one of the worlds into a gay parade location. I put like tons of rainbows up. I just repainted and redecorated the whole thing so it looked like the start and stop of a pride parade. For I did that for Pride last year. I enjoyed that so much. It was so much fun. But I can't remember what world it was in. That's my own fault. I horrible memory. Horrible memory. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Dagoth. I really appreciate that. And I hope that you have fun with your gaze world and that it goes well for you. That sounds awesome. It was so much fun doing that park. I really, really enjoyed myself. I'm gonna have to go back into the game for Pride this year and do something. I'm not quite sure what yet, but I definitely want to gay the place up. Maybe I'll trans an entire neighborhood or an entire lot. Just slap a bunch of trans pride flags and trans colors all over everything on one lot. That might be fun. Especially with, the freaking transphobia that loads of that trans community is experiencing right now. I read an article about a interview with Hillary Cass. If you're in the UK and you've been following it, you'll know all about Hillary Cass. I'm not going to go into it here, other than to say she has been given tons of power over trans youth, power that she does not deserve. And she is extremely transphobic and mentioned in the interview that she thinks that trans kids should be put on puberty blockers, not because it's good for the trans kids, but because it would give more opportunity for their therapists to do conversion therapy on these trans kids to make the kids no longer trans. Right thing, wrong reason. Jeeves, you love Dagoth's idea of creating a gays-only world. Same. Absolute same. I love it. Okay, so, Beard Baby. Officially named as a favorite bug and pinned. Cade continued blaming patches on mods working too well, and the mystery of Redacted remains unsolved. Okay. Right, full Q&A recap. Let's go through this. Morgan, Sims 4 producer. I'm Morgan, a producer on The Sims 4, here today to talk about our upcoming patch, which includes a really fun quality of life update for live mode notifications and phone calls, plus a total of around 80 bug fixes. I'm glad to talk about what's coming, how we got there, or anything you might have questions about pertaining to the patch, or our ongoing quality of life efforts. Yeah, so Morgan is the Sims 4 producer. There's a gameplay engineer Carlos and a game designer by the name of Connor from EA. Morgan is a really nice person. Gameplay engineer Carlos is seriously, he knows his stuff. Connor, I've chatted with a little bit, but not much. But from what I understand, Connor is pretty good as well. Jeeves, Beard Baby should not be removed. I agree. They should figure out how it happens and make Beard Baby a rare occurrence. Yes, 100%. Beard Baby needs to stay in the game. Just, for ongoing memes, ongoing meme reasons. Sometimes you do things for science, sometimes you do things for the memes, and sometimes you do things for both, and you create a lovely sciencey meme thing. And yes, Beard Baby needs to stay. Okay, so someone asked, what about the food updates? Wasn't this June update supposed to bring something related to this and the thirst feature back? Morgan says that's something we're working on for a future update. We're not ready to talk about when exactly yet. Okay, that's an interesting answer. So I'm guessing that the food updates and the thirst feature is something that they're working on it, and I'm guessing just based off of this, we aren't ready to talk about when. I'm guessing they're having some problems with the food updates and the thirst feature. So I'm looking forward to them updating the foods, because it does need to be fixed, and I would love to see our Sims actually get thirsty again and drink some water, as opposed to none. So yeah, I am looking forward to them fixing that. Opting first, also hi, Opting. You are the first person to actually shout first in the chat. Congratulations, congratulations. Crispy, make Beard Baby a unique sim available on the gallery. Yes. SimSteam approved, Beard Baby. There you go. Right, so someone had a question about fading relationships and how that will relate to the new relationship status needed to have certain phone calls come in. They say, like, if Sims are soulmates and then break up and time fades them to below friends, will they no longer call each other? And Connor says, as long as their friendship is still at or above friends, they should be valid for these kinds of phone calls. We got 2 questions from another player. Are you planning to solve objects getting compressed in the distance? And when will the issue of Sims performing actions way too late be solved? I'm referring to the fact that Sims take way too long to do certain actions. Morgan says, I'm not aware of any highly community-reported issues on compressed things in the distance, but I do know we use LODs with objects in the distance to help game performance. Depending on your settings and computer, this could appear differently, but it is 100% something we and most games do on purpose. I learned a lot about that back when I was a QV tester testing art. However, if there is a bug, please report it. Are all mean actions no longer autonomous, or only mean actions as a result of a dynasty? Morgan says we only touch the ones that were occurring because of the dynasty stuff. If there are other reasons a sim would be autonomously mean, that should still happen. Okay, that's really good to know. Because I was worried the way that they worded that in the laundry list, it sounded like they were just completely cutting all autonomous mean actions, but I'm glad that they've not done that. So if you have a mean sim, that mean sim should still do autonomous mean actions. That's fantastic. Glad to hear that. Opting, you're early to the party because you stayed out late last night, and apparently that means that you get up early. Yeah, that's how that works. That's 100% how that works, yes. Did you pull an all-nighter, Opting? Crispy, you can imagine the food update would have happened that quickly. They only asked about it last month, and if they were also adding in quality of life stuff around food as well as enhancing dine out, yeah, it probably will be a while before they actually get to, because there's a lot of food in the game. There's an absolute ton of food in the game, and quite a few interactions and animations around food. So fixing all of that is definitely going to take time. Opting, you pulled a in bed after 10, which is unusual for you. Wow. I'm usually like in bed for around 11, but I don't turn the lights out until midnight. I read books, okay? Some people work out, I read books. So someone had a question about the I heard you became friends, enemies, good friends with blank. That's cool calls. Are they being removed completely or toned down? The laundry list wasn't very clear. Connor says those specific kind of calls will be removed. So the I heard you became friends, enemies, good friends with will be completely removed from the game. Other autonomous calls are just being toned down. What is the toughest bug to squash in this patch? Carla says, I want to say it was the first one on the laundry list. Windows and doors now display correctly and remain properly aligned with the walls across all graphic settings. This took a long time to get into a state in which it works in all graphics options. I'm really glad that they fixed it, though, because the windows and doors, like, hiding themselves in the walls was so annoying. absolutely annoying in the game. And yeah, I am so glad that they've completely fixed it. I just lost my place. There we go. Will the hand fan from the recent event be functional? Morgan says there was a fan self-interaction that was supposed to be happening that is now fixed. So it should be fixed in the game this coming up patch of next week. Again, if you notice that fan self-interaction is not happening in your game, then do report it over on the forums. Will the custom tattoos be functional again? It always freezes the game and forces us to close. Morgan responded, no more soft lock when downloading tattoos. It is fixed. Or will be once the game updates. Crispy, as a builder, that doors and windows glitch was infuriating. Same. Absolute same. I'd be like, where's my door? And it would be there. It would just like, all you could see was the door frame. It's like, and of course, with it being like that, your Sims can't see it. They can't pathfind to the door because it's in the wall. It's just, oh my gosh. Crispy, didn't we get a fan in Royalty and Legacy as well? I honestly don't know. I know there's one in the Bridgerton collab, event. That login event. So, but I don't know if there is one in Royalty and Legacy. Off the top of my head. I'd have to look. Okay, off-topic question for Gameplay Engineer. Is there a way to allow all ages to use the marbles from For Rent instead of it only being accessible to children? Please. Morgan says for something like making marbles for all ages, that would involve a lot of disciplines. It would take animation work for each age group and design work to hook up. Because of this, we often prioritize animation work going towards content we feel players are most likely to want to engage with. That's why a lot of age-specific content might not always be available for all age groups. That makes sense, because if you think about it, if they, like, for example, playing with marbles in the game, you have to, one, make sure that, toggle the code, make code for every sim to be able to play marbles. Then you have to get the animations for the sims to squat down or sit on the floor, and then animations for them all to play the marbles. And there's multiple animations involved in playing the marble game in The Sims 4. So yeah, I understand what Morgan is saying. So yeah, but if someone wants to mod that is totally a moddable thing that you can do in The Sims 4. Very, very difficult though. Very difficult and time consuming to do for just the sake of one mod. Someone else says, I worry reducing the calls too much might make the game feel more lifeless. I understand getting rid of calls from Sims that aren't friends. It makes total sense. There isn't anything specifically in the laundry list that worries me. Just wouldn't want the reduction to become a trend that removes too much. Morgan says, we'd love feedback after the game has been updated and you've played. I think the game still feels lively, and hopefully the calls are also way more relevant to the stories you're telling now, so when they do happen, they'll feel more impactful. Sneak peek on what the animators are working on right now? Morgan, secret stuff. 99% sure they're working on animations. Love the humor there from Morgan and Connor. Crispy, you're not sure you completely agree on the whole prioritize animations for specific objects. For example, you don't like how child sims cannot use the pottery wheel or crystal table, but they can make candles, carve pumpkins, etc. Stop restricting our child. Yes, exactly. There is a lot of things that I would love the child sims to do that they can't do, that you would think they should be able to do. Like, as you said, the pottery wheel and the crystal table. Kids should be able to pick things up off the crystal table and use them. You know? And what kid doesn't like shiny rocks and playing with shiny rocks? I'm picturing, instead of like the children actually using the crystal table for its intended purposes, I'm picturing it, I think it would be really cool if you had the crystal table out, and there was like a slight chance that the kids walking past the crystal table would see the crystals and go bloop and like start playing with them and start like holding them up to the light and stuff like that, and like totally messing up the table. Um, maybe putting a couple of the crystals in their pockets or something. It would be annoying, but it would really add to the immersion. Annoying in an immersive way, you know? Sounds like an excuse just to not put in some extra work on some animations. I From a developer point of view, I can understand the restrictions because it does it takes quite a while to create those animations, and then not only do you have to create the animations and create the actual interaction, the code for the interactions, you have to make sure that it works properly, and that all does take time. So if you can imagine, I'm just plucking numbers out of my head, but if you can imagine, say, that one animation and the code behind that animation, the interaction, takes, let's say it takes a week for the code and one animation, for one item to properly program and animate, and link it all together. Let's say it takes one real world week to get that working. That is then, across all of the different age groups. So let's say you've got toddler, child, and let's actually exclude toddlers just for the sake of it. Let's see, child, teen, adult. Child, teen, young adult, adult, older. That's um five age ranges, and so that's 5 weeks just for the sake of one interaction and one animation, that they would have to do. And they work crunch time at the Sims team. EA forces them to do crunch time, and they're like, you only get like 3 months to do one expansion pack, or 6 months to do one expansion pack, or something like that. So they have to go, okay, we only have, say, 6 months to get this one expansion pack out. So what can we cut to turn something that is going to take, normally would take a year, if we want to get it completely out there the way we want it? What can we cut to shrink that 12-month development period into 6 months that EA is forcing us to do? From that perspective, I can understand. I agree with you, though. I would love to see interactions like that, and animations across the board, for everything and everyone. It would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I understand where they're coming from, but I also understand from a player perspective that it would be really nice to get all of these across the board interactions and animations. Crispy, they started opening things up for child sims like gardening and even cooking. Like, they added in new animations for kids. Why did they start going backwards on excluding them? Yeah, 2 words: shareholders. That's why they started going backwards and started excluding kids again. Shareholders. Shareholders say number must always go up, and the only things that the team should be working on is things that make number go up. if if adding animations, if they can't charge for it, that does not make number go up, that makes number go down, as far as the shareholders are concerned. So it's executive and shareholder meddling. That is literally the reason. Crispy, you get it. You've watched a lot of animation process videos for game development, but you just feel like they started going backwards. I agree. Child Sims still can't even paint. They have the activity table, but yeah, I would love, Child Sims should be able to use the easel. I completely agree. Opting at shareholders is one word. Semantics. Do you know what is 2 words, Opting? Never mind. Okay. Anyway, back to the questions. Are there plans to bring hula dancing and functional hammocks to The Sims 4? We need more music as well. Give me just a moment. That one. Okay. Ewok, Augie, how rude. We've already ascertained that I am mean and rude, so... Oh dear. Right, hula dancing and functional hammocks. Morgan says, not that I know of, but I would love a hammock death if we ever did. Morgan, we need it. We need it. Intervene on our behalf, please. Hammock death. Hammock death. Hammock death. Sorry. So what was the reason for the cuckoo clock death? I really liked it. Is there an inspiration behind it? It feels so Sims. Morgan says, I didn't work on that pack, so I don't know, but we do normally try to think of fun, wacky deaths for each pack that would fit our theme, so I'm sure that's how the idea came about. Our phone call is going to be from Sims inside the Sim household when it comes to a new Sim. I know that's happened in the past, but it's a bug. We fixed one instance of this happening with formative moments. I'm glad that they fixed that. You know, horrible thing. How much did you decrease invite calls from NPCs? It'll keep happening, says Morgan. Our goal wasn't to remove all calls, but make the experience feel less overwhelming. What was your favorite bug to fix? Carlos says, it's a weird one, but the festival notifications were enjoyable to work on. Lots of different festivals to go through, so it was a nice little tour of the game. Augie, a slur against Opting is a slur against you. You are the same person. 100%, of course you are. Crispy, hammocks would be such a great addition to island living. Totally, I would love it. So, will my sim be able to adopt their stepchild without becoming siblings with their partner in the new update? The wording was kind of vague. Morgan said we fixed an issue where partnered sims could form an inappropriate relationship upon leaving Create a Sim. There are a few permutations of this bug, but we've made a lot of progress against them with a few different fixes, both in the last patch and now this patch. I think there's still one more permutation that we're investigating. Okay, so the festival notifications update is a lifesaver. I'm looking at you, high school years. Is there any chance of adding the Sulani festivals to this list? Morgan says right now that isn't something we're looking at since they don't have notifications. That means we would need to create notifications, then also add options to turn them off. For this update, we only made it so you can turn off ones that already exist. Adding notifications would be great since I didn't even know there were festivals in Sulani. Morgan says it would be. I know it's something we've talked about, but it would have taken a little more time than we had before this patch came out. We're always open to feedback around this, though. Those festivals can be hard to know they're happening, and they're so good. Ewoki, they do have notifications. There is a mod for it. That just seems a little lazy. So I'm guessing that the mod added the notifications in. But vanilla game doesn't have the notifications in for Sulani, for the Sulani festivals, but the mod added them in themselves. So the mod creator added them in. So yeah, the Sims team they can't take an existing mod and use that existing mod in the game. So they would have to do it themselves. Dagoth, wait, Sulani has events? I know, right? Who here knew about Sulani's events? Not me. I honestly did not know about them. Sims, so what do we think they've broken with this new patch? Oh my god, yes. With each new patch, the game is broken in new and mysterious ways. Ewoki, the mod added the notifications, but they are there in the game. Oh, okay. So it might be a yeah, it might be a case of Morgan not realizing that the notifications are already in the game, just not enabled. Morgan's only human. You know, they don't know everything, so. Ewoki, you do get they would need to create it, but the notifications are super simple. They could probably take the mod file. Probably, yeah. Take the files from the mod. Crispy, honestly, they've had since 2019 when Island Living came out to listen to players asking for notifications for Sulani. Why is it still not an option? You agree with Ewoki? It sounds lazy. Yeah, like I said, it might be a case of Morgan not realizing that the notifications were in there. Just, you know. But yeah, I agree. If the notifications are already in the code, then yeah, they should 100% turn on the notifications and make it toggleable with all the others. I agree with you there. Ewoki, plus there's tons of mods. How could they not? How could they keep up with? How could they keep up so no hater judgment? Yeah, exactly. Ewoki, almost every day of the Sims week. For Sulani, really? Wow. Okay. Very interesting. I need to play in Sulani. I definitely need to play in Sulani. I don't think I've ever actually played in Sulani, other than, like, visiting there briefly, you know? Alright, let's see. What do we have? What's next? Notifications being less annoying on day-to-day Sims life is a huge improvement. Connor says this is a personal pet peeve. I didn't like the thrifty ones, so it felt very satisfying. I agree with Connor. I hated the thrifty notifications, as well as the high school years notifications. So, yeah, I'm glad that they're letting us turn those off. Thank you for the laundry list. Here's my question. Does turning off notifications also remove the festivals from the calendar? Carlos says it will not change anything in the calendar. Events will still show up and festivals will still show up and be scheduled as normal. Just a notification will not be sent. Wait a minute. Question for those of you who play Sulani. Do the Sulani festivals actually show up in the calendar themselves? Or do they not show up? Because I swear, I have never seen a Sulani festival show up in the calendar. Do they show up in the calendar? That... Huh. I might have to look that up. Ewoki, play in Sulani, yes. It's not only pretty, but the festivals are cool. Very community-orientated. Nice. Crispy, maybe lazy isn't the right word. Maybe a huge oversight. Every other pack has festival notifications. Why did they not think... Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Ewoki, they don't show up in the calendar at all. Crispy, no, they don't. Wow, okay. I would say that's a bug. You know what? I might go over to the forums after this stream and report that. I think I will. Hold on. I'm going to write that down. Or else I will forget. Okay. Report Sulani festivals not in calendar. Okay. I misspelled calendar, but it's fine. Ewoki, that's why you've got the mod, because without it, you have zero idea about the festivals. Do I want the mod as well to drop it in for them? You know, like hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Yeah, if you don't mind, Ewoki, going over to the Discord and pasting the link for the mod in over in the Discord for me. That way I won't lose it here in the chat. Crispy, you bet 1,000 simoleons my report will be marked as by design. Don't even waste my time. No, yeah. I'm sure that if we get enough upvotes, wink wink nudge nudge everyone, if we get enough upvotes on that bug report, that They will take heed. So, Ewoki, you'll Discord it for me. Thank you very, very much. I once I make the bug report, I will post it over on the Discord so you all can like tick it as you know, me too type of thing. Let you know you'll upvote it. Aw, thanks, Ewoki. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's continue going through this. Can you take the meshes from child and toddler hairs and transfer them to adults? I love some of those hairs. The same way you transfer adult hairs into child hair, please. Morgan says doing this is possible, and it's something we've been trying to do more than we used to. Originally, we were afraid players wouldn't like this, so we avoided it. But after finding out how much everyone likes it, we do consider it when adding new hairs. Glad to hear that they are considering it, and I really hope that they go back and transfer more adult hairs onto child options and vice versa. There are a few child hairstyles that I would love to see on my adult Sims. Crispy, it'll be marked as by design, and also you can't even encourage others to go and upvote it. It's deemed as non-organic inflation, and they can ban suspend. Oh wow, I didn't know about that. Very interesting. You would think that asking people, hey, if you experience this in your game, make sure to as well make sure to weigh in on it over in the forums. You would think that would be allowed. Right, let's see. Notifications, I'm just, this is a huge comment, so I'm just trying to, okay, here we go. Oh wait, so that's not even, that isn't even a question really, it's just some general thoughts. So yeah, I love having settings and options to be able to customize things. Some of the special phone calls seem to only happen once per save. Kyle stay over, neighbor staying over, wealthy weirdo, Bess calling, Eleanor calling to take care of the infants. I think that the stay over calls will have a chance to pop up is awesome. Can it also be considered for other special event phone calls to happen after a cooldown as well? And Morgan says, I think wanting calls to happen more frequently is 100% the sort of feedback that's really helpful for us to get. Someone says, I only bought Life and Death for the build and buy. I have no desire to join the festival. Glad I will no longer be getting notifications for that. Morgan says, I feel that way on different saves. There are always some festivals I don't want to be notified about, and some I do. It's going to be really nice to be able to customize it. How many fixes were not included in the laundry list, and any you would like to share here? Morgan says, in total, there are about 80 bug fixes in this patch. Wow. Aw. What's one bug you wish you could have left in? Carla says Beard Baby, but that's way older. Connor says throwing infants across the lot would have been cool to have been able to leave in the game. Morgan seconds Beard Baby. See, even the devs want to keep Beard Baby in the game. Morgan says, another bug I didn't want to fix. There was this weird thing happening with suntans where in certain circumstances, the character portrait at the bottom would start to look really cute and silly, and I didn't want to fix that. But we did. And yes, that is a picture of Ron Lumberjackson, my favorite sim of all time. And this is Beard Baby. Ewoki, just to further complicate the notifications for Island Living and why it's lazy, the turtle hatching already receives notifications, whereas the rest of the festivals don't. You'll hush now. Wow. Yeah, that is a bit weird, isn't it? Crispy, they deem it as encouraging people to just upvote an issue, even if they don't have the issue in their game, so they quite often remove the report. Oh, very interesting. 80 bug fixes in this patch, but 180 new bugs added. You joke, kind of. If anyone has a programming background, there's an old programmer's joke where it's when you fix one bug, 2 more bugs take its place. So not a million miles off there, Crispy. So I'm curious if fixing the gallery lots problems causing save corruption is going to cause more save corruption. Morgan says it shouldn't. We did extensive testing around this to check that one specifically. Question, some chaos is lovely. I just need someone to do something about the pop-up, making the game literally unplayable. They constantly leave a weird gray filter over the screen. That means I can't do anything but force quit. The only way to play the game is to mod them out, and it's a pain on patch days. Morgan says, we've been investigating that one. It's been hard to nail down, though, because it doesn't happen regularly when we try to reproduce it internally. We recently found a lead, but aren't ready to talk about it more yet. So I'm glad that they're working on that. At least it's good to get confirmation that they're working on specific bugs, you know? Morgan says, when we were looking into the Glad You Became Friends with notifications, we found like 4 different feedback threads on it with a lot of very passionate notes. I love that. That's hilarious. When the Grim Reaper calls you on the phone, you can select the career you want to join instead of joining the death career automatically. This breaks the immersion. Was that fixed? I saw something related to the Grim Reaper on the laundry list, so maybe it was. I just want to be sure. Morgan says with how our career join UI works, that is how it had to happen. We haven't updated that aspect, but we've changed it so the Grim Reaper will only call macabre Sims to ask if they want to join the career, so it makes more sense for story purposes. But to also be clear, any Sim can still join this the manual way. If there was one single interaction crossover you could make happen between 2 packs or base game and a pack to sneak into this update, what would it be? Carlos is like, I don't even know. Right now the focus is on fixing bugs. Crispy, when do I think the Sims team are going to get to the stage where they patch the game for the final time? Like at some point they should just leave the game alone and let modders take over. Sorry console players, but it's going to happen one day. Yeah, I know that they're currently working on the on the Not Sims 5, which is currently being called Project X. I have no idea exactly what Project X is going to be, but my guess is that at some point after Project X is fully has been released, my guess is at some point they are gonna have to shut down The Sims 4. I mean, not shut down as in make it unplayable, but shut it down as in no longer support and provide fixes for The Sims 4. Similar to how they've done for The Sims 3. Just because of how old The Sims 4 is, and there's only so much manpower that you can put to The Sims 4. So my guess is I don't want to say if, because we know it's going to happen eventually. When The Sims 4 gets to the point where they're no longer adding new worlds to the game, then I think that's probably when they're going to start wrapping up all of the bugs. This is pure speculation on my part, though. This is 100% pure speculation. I don't have insider knowledge, but this is... It is pretty much what they did with The Sims 3. When they stopped making DLC for The Sims 3, that's when they started slowing down the bug fixes for The Sims 3. So my guess is that that's what's going to happen with The Sims 4. Just based on past behavior, you know? Project X, if the unreliable Sims insider is to be believed, yeah, you're taking everything that an insider says with a pinch of salt. Same. Especially considering they've said that they don't work for The Sims anymore. It's like, or EA, they no longer work for EA or The Sims team. So how are they getting all of their information? Some of it's been true, but yeah, I am 100% taking everything that insider says with a grain of salt. Because how can they be classified as an insider if they no longer are working on the game? They're not an insider. It's just so weird. It's just so weird. We want more behind the scenes office shenanigans. Connor says all the designers used to sit in one giant pit in the middle of the office floor, and we were so loud we got constant complaints from our neighbors. On one hand, I really enjoyed everyone's company back then. On the other, I understand a bunch of friends together chatting would be really annoying to sit through, to sit next to. When a sim offers you a job with a higher level, this doesn't happen, though. You automatically will join the selected job. This only happens with Grim. Can you pass a note to the team, please? Morgan says, yeah, it was implemented through a different way. It's good feedback. As always, please feel free to report that feedback in the forums where we can track it. We look at that a lot. I like this. I can hear the revelation from here. That dude, that has been touched in X years. How is that causing a bug? And Morgan's like, oh yeah, I love hearing how bugs get fixed. It's always quite interesting. My favorite is when a dev fixes a bug and is like, I might have caused that. And they get all shy about it. There's one bug's comments where I found the dev admitting to accidentally making the bug and the QV person swearing they wouldn't tell anyone that they caused it. But it's like publicly in the comments where I'm actively reading it. It's so funny. I sent the evidence to them both and blackmailed them, and now I'm rich. I'm partially joking. About what? You'll never know. And that is it for the Q&As. That I love reading the Q&A roundup here. I'm really thankful to the Sims community for collating all of the answers and questions into something that is more readable than all of this. I mean, this is a lot to read through and try to find all of the questions and answers. Yeah. 100%. Really glad to see that Sims team Sims community is doing the work for me, so I can just relate all of the fixes, everything to you all. Crispy, it seems odd to you that this source is just someone known to Sims community website. No, it's they're over on a completely different forum. It's just Sims community website. The team, they have their fingers in a lot of different parts of the Sims community. So any forums that has like a Sims 4 section, the people behind the Sims community website, they make sure that they are also there. So they just have found that insider over on that specific forum, and they report about it. Like, there's no external links from this insider, and any relatable info is linked to another Sims community article. Yeah, I think it's because the Sims insider, they post on one particular forums, and I think like every other, website like PC Gamer and such, they don't want to comment about the insider because, one, you have to take everything that leaks like that about leaks like that with a grain of salt, and two, it's not reputable. The only thing that you know for certain is what the Sims team themselves confirm. So it's just a case of, the way I'm picturing it is like websites like PC Gamer go, okay, the insider has said this, so let's keep an eye out for proof that this is actually true. And then once they get the proof, then they report on that proof. Not saying, not mentioning the insider at all. They just report on the proof as they find it, which is the best way to do it. The absolute best way to do it. But yeah, I don't like insiders or people who leak stuff like that from games in particular, because a lot of the times, the developers are like, ooh, I'm really, really excited about And this is, you know, developer point of view. They're like, oh, I'm really excited about announcing this new thing that's upcoming. And a week before, and they schedule it. You know, they go to PR and they say, right, here's the blog post about announcing this, or here's the social media posts about you know, where that I've written about announcing this neat new thing that's coming into The Sims 4, and then the PR agent, you know, their PR is like, yeah, okay, they approve it, and before they can schedule, you know, before they can get it out to the general public, the insider is all like, hey, this is happening. And I'm like, wow, way to steal the developer's thunder, dude. Way to steal the developer's thunder. You know, this developer who is super excited about sharing all of this info, and you've just yanked the rug right out from underneath them. Well done. All for what? A bit of internet clout? Oof. Oof. Crispy, it's just all that you see. Only see the Sims community website talking about these insider things. None of the other known leakers that used to talk about insider stuff do it anymore. Yeah. And that makes me wonder, why are they not talking about it anymore? Maybe their communities, you know, the other known leakers that talked about the insider stuff, maybe their communities said, dude, we're tired of this. We want to hear this from the devs' mouths themselves, not some third-hand leak, you know? And that might very well be the case. And if that is the case, well done on those people's community for pulling them up on it. Seriously, well done. Okay, my friends. It is 12:30, and we need to go have lunch. So that we can come back at 2 p.m. So thank you all so much for being here. Dagoth, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Voice actor, thank you so much for the resub over on Twitch as well. If you all are not already following me over on YouTube, then please do click that link. Subscribe to me over there. I have the same live streams over on YouTube that we have here on Twitch. At least the Sims and Paralives live streams are over on YouTube as well. That's where all the VODs live. And I also release regular videos on The Sims 4 and Paralives, fixing issues and problems and doing guides and stuff over there. So yes, please do feel free to you know, follow me over on YouTube as well. Crispy, it's just odd that, hold on, I already read that. Thematically used to be one of the biggest leakers, jack of all games, and you can't recall who the other one was. Do they not, does thematically not leak stuff anymore? Really glad to hear that if he doesn't, because yeah. I know a lot of people were telling them basically, hey, stop it. And a lot of people were actually blocking him because they were sick and tired of the leaks. So Matt still sort of leaks stuff, but more vaguely. Okay, so like hints, but not outright leaks anymore. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. All right, my friends, I will see you all in 1.5 hours from now. Let's go get something to eat, something cool to drink. I'll see you in a bit. Iwoki, a jack of all games, is the same. No leaks anymore. He's just mostly saying how there are no more expansion packs. We know, based on that website that we saw that we looked at yesterday, that they have said that there will be more worlds. That website yesterday confirmed more new worlds. So yes, they're just stoking the rumor mill. Anyway, yes, Iwoki, I will see you all in 1.5 hours. Bye for now, though. Bye, everyone!